Now recording. Guys, what if this podcast is AI generated?
Oh, God.
What if Craig is implanting AI thoughts in our brain?
You can't AI generate this kind of
This comedy gold?
Yeah.
poo-poo pee-pee. Imagine.
I think I'm sick in the brain currently because now on repeat, I just want to keep continuously saying, now recording, over and over and over again.
Dude,
Maybe you're turning into
really
Craig.
funny. Anyway,
Oh my God.
hello and welcome back. We're the Tough Cut Podcast, I think. And I'm Matthew.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Jakers.
Now
And
recording.
This is episode 107, part 2 of our Alien bracket. We gave you plenty of time to watch part 1, so no excuses.
Yeah, you better know what happened, and we're gonna spoil it if you didn't.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
gonna
the
do
Alien
pop
bracket.
quizzes.
This is the Alien bracket. We talk about movies that got aliens in them. First, pop quiz. What was the first movie we talked about last week? Do you
I
know?
feel like Alex
Do you
is
know?
asking this as like he needs to be reminded.
I think I remember what all 4 movies were. I certainly don't remember the order we talked about them in.
I'm gonna go with Alien, Fifth Element. Final answer.
It was the Fifth Element, then Alien.
Okay, well,
Ooh,
fucking...
That's so embarrassing, Jake.
Anyway, so
We
coming
probably
at
said the
you
word
guys-
alien first, you know?
Coming at you guys in today's episode.
Now recording.
We've got 2 great matchups. Coming at you first, we've got Independence Day versus Dick. We've got Independence Day
versus
Dick.
District
Dick.
9.
Dick.
And then in the second half of the episode, we've got The Thing.
Dick.
Nice. Versus Starship Troopers. So
I feel like I'm having an aneurysm.
I'll be completely honest, Matthew. I don't think I heard the first matchup. Could you say it again?
Independence Day versus District 9.
Nice.
Nice.
Enunciate. I didn't do my vocal warm-ups today.
You can do them right now. Don't worry. We won't include it. We'll edit it out. Do them up.
Yeah, for sure cutting it out.
Yeah. Do your vocal warm-ups.
Anyway, Alex, you want to go ahead and introduce Independence Day?
Oh my God. I didn't know you would say that during your vocal
Jesus,
warm-ups.
Matt,
Holy hell.
that's so problematic. Now I have to cut it out.
No, wait a minute.
You should have done the vocal warm-ups, Matthew.
Oh, I got played by my own bit.
Oh, hey, spoiler warning. We're going to be spoiling both Matthew's reputation and...
Whoa. I didn't
and
say
the movies
anything.
that we mentioned. Probably other movies, but primarily the movies we mentioned. And there's actually, one of these movies is famed for having a very famous, oh, you want to know what happens at the end. So, and
Which
it's
one?
debated in a lot of communities.
Oh, yeah. Okay, when you said
Yeah.
debated, it clicked in my head.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was like,
when you watch
what
the
are you
movie,
talking
if you had no idea about it, you'd be like, yeah, I don't want that spoiled for me. At least for me.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway,
Wow.
thank you, Jake.
You're welcome, man. I care about
Now-
our viewers.
That's fair. Independence Day.
Oh yeah, I did this one. Independence Day, directed by Roland Emmerich, released in 1996. This is how Google summarized this movie. In the epic adventure film Independence Day, isn't it so weird that they describe it that way? Like, I guess
Epic
technically
adventure.
that's what it is, but that's like such a weird way to
Sure.
describe it. Weird phenomena surface around the globe. The skies ignite. Terror races through the world's major cities as these extraordinary events unfold. I guess extraordinary is probably the way you would say that word. Aliens show up, and they have to blow up the aliens on Independence Day. America.
Okay.
Except for the speech at the end where they say, actually, it's about the whole world now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Independence Day, global.
Mhm.
America for everyone.
It's called
Um,
exporting freedom.
And it released on July 3rd.
Exporting freedom. Jesus Christ.
It released on July 3rd, which I think is crucial. This is one of the few
Wow.
movies that makes me be like, huh, America. And also it's got aliens in it.
What other
true.
movies
That's
on your
true.
short list? Just fire away. Don't even think about it. Short list. What makes you go, huh, America?
Inglourious Bastards.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I speak the most high talent. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Pretty American.
That one makes me feel
Pretty
pretty
American.
good about being an American.
That and Air Bud.
Air Bud Spikes back.
Yeah.
Air Buddies.
The volleyball one. Air Bud
We
in
can't
space.
spoil what
Space
our next
buddies.
bracket is, guys. Come on. We're supposed to focus on this one.
What'd you think of this one, Jake?
This was like classic dad movie. This is classic.
Yeah.
Pops is watching you on a couch. Pops maybe has a beer in his hand. Maybe he's had one too many. And he's like, I forgot I need to talk to my son in order to bond. And he's like, well, I don't really want to talk to him, so I'll talk to him through. Don't worry, it's fine. I'll talk to him through cinema. And he kind of like pats the couch. He's like, come, boy. And you sit down and you watch Independence Day.
Cute.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I like this movie. It's, Will Smith is a charming man. Unfortunately, this movie got like memed to hell to me because of this. There's this video that has like 1,000 views on YouTube of like 50 inspirational speeches in 2 minutes.
Oh no.
And it copies a bunch of different like speeches at the end. I'll never forget it. It says, they may take our lives, but they'll never take, and then it cuts, our Independence Day, and then Free Willy splashes on screen. And I can like never forget it because I'm like, why? What do you mean by that? And so anytime I hear Independence Day and I think of the movie with him in the clip, I think of Free Willy, and I think if they may take our lives, but they'll never take our Independence Day. That's a real clip. You could look it up. That's real.
Holy shit! I found this video immediately.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It has 10 million views now.
Holy shit!
It was uploaded 14 years ago.
Holy
God.
shit!
The man who made it has 3,000 subscribers.
Oh my! I thought you were gonna say it's died. I thought
He might have. I don't know.
wow, 10 million views. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't
cool.
lying. I have that video downloaded onto my phone on my like music. Anytime, like randomly, I'll play my music on shuffle. I'll be like driving a bunch of friends to a party, and
all
then
of a sudden,
come on, and I'll play it the whole way.
wow, I love that for you.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about the movie. How about you, Matthew?
Yeah, a little bit of, I guess they're not in space. I mean, they briefly are, but a little bit of jingoism never hurt nobody.
This fucking guy. This
boy.
fucking. Can you define that for the kids back home?
Yeah, so jingoism is like ultra nationalism, ultra patriotism, and that's what this film is. It's America to its DNA. It's America to the naming conventions. It's America all the way up and down. I mean, in the first 3 minutes of the movie, they're talking about the president, and they're like, "We elected a warrior, not a leader, or not a president," whatever the line is, and I'm like, and I just think that that's very funny. Beyond that, it is objectively sort of Jake's vibe. Objectively like a fun movie, it is a good time. Yeah.
Nice.
Why'd you pick it, Alex? I don't think I heard that part.
It got Alien.
And it got America.
I would
it got
think
America?
personally, I would think if you were doing a Will Smith alien movie, Men in Black was right there for the take.
Yeah,
For real.
I mean, I like this movie a lot. It sprang to mind immediately because I feel like it's one of the first Alien movies I feel like I ever saw. I'll say the first adult movie with an alien that I ever saw. Obviously Lilo and Stitch is another movie that comes to mind, but there probably were a lot of other movies that I could have picked, and I'm sure we'll talk about it during the finale with our honorable mentions. I thought of 3 other ones today, namely Chicken Little.
Yeah, but Zach Braff, do we want to really elevate him on this platform?
Well, you just said his name. You signal boosted him.
Fuck! Now everyone's gonna know who Zach Braff is. Star of
guys,
Scrubs.
Matt, we have to put Jake in the Braff hole.
No, not the Braff hole, please!
Yeah, you're going in a timeout in the Braff hole,
No,
Jake.
please, not the Braff hole,
Off the
please!
goddamn dome.
Yeah, I think there is something to be said for the fact that this was the one that stuck out to me as alien movie. And honestly, the aliens they're in it, but it's not they don't play that big of a part in it,
I mean, they kill millions of people, Alex.
People kill millions of people every day. We didn't put them in the bracket.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm sorry. You really got me with that one.
I feel unhinged. Who wants to introduce the other movie here?
Yeah, so we've got District 9, directed by Neil Blomkamp and released in 2009. This movie, it gets a little gross, it gets a little dirty, it gets a little disgusting. It's gritty, documentary style.
Very
aliens
fun.
arrive to Earth in this very apparent apartheid allegory. Aliens known as the prawns land in South Africa and are sectioned off into an area of Johannesburg known as District 9. Prawns are managed by a multinational corporation who build weapons, and it's very apparent that the humans don't like the prawns very much, as our main character is promoted into the rehousing of all the aliens to a new home in District 10. The relocation of 10 million aliens gets a little bit crazy when Wickus accidentally gets some black alien goo on him and he starts to turn into an alien.
But how can a person from Earth be an alien?
That's what happens when you get the goo on you. You know, that's the goo they use to drive their spaceship, so I wouldn't want to get it on my skin.
Why you pitch it?
Yeah, so this is a movie I haven't seen in a really, really long time. I was probably a teenager, maybe a little younger, I don't know. But it was a movie I remember really liking, and getting to like sit down and watch it with adult eyes and ears was pretty cool. The VFX are great.
Mm-hmm.
The aliens look really interesting. I think it, has some interesting things to say, and as I said, is very clearly an exploration of apartheid, of like race relations, of a lot of different things. Yeah, it's a very gritty movie. I think it uses the documentary style really effectively for much of its runtime. It kind of alternates between a little bit. I don't know. It does a lot of pretty interesting stuff, in my opinion. So I just kind of wanted to rewatch it and thought it'd be interesting to talk about. With that said, Alex, what'd you think of this one?
I remember seeing trailers for it and thinking it looked scary. So I never saw this movie.
That's
but I've seen it now, and it was pretty good.
Thank you. Nice.
Short, sweet, and simple. I like that.
Jake, what about you?
This movie pisses me off. I'll tell you why.
Because it makes you think of Chappie?
Yeah, literally, you nailed it on the head. I'm not even joking. I love District 9. I think it's a great movie. I think it looks good. The acting is very fun. The main dude, he's very fun in it. I think the storytelling is just very exciting. The direction's very exciting. It's that like of like sci-fi being like on the nose about humanity and how humans are fucking shitty and are arbitrary like fucking laws and things we just invent to make people who are different from us suffer. I really like District 9, but then Neil fucking Blomkamp is fucking the most unlucky creative filmmaker in the world. This guy fucking has gone on to make Elysium. Remember that one? Exactly.
Yeah.
Chappie, which is a god-awful excuse for a film. And then he was going to make a fucking alien film, and he was going to finally bring back Sigourney Weaver, and it was this whole thing, whoa, great, whatever, canceled, done, he sucked, he wanted to make Chappie, idiot. This movie pisses me off because it shows me how good Neil Blomkamp's career in science fiction could have been, and he just fucking tanked it, which, honestly, I guess that happens a lot in sci-fi. I guess I had the same kind of similar rant for The Fifth Element director for Valerian as well. I don't know. Maybe sci-fi is hard to create. Maybe,
Do you think it's a situation where it's like someone who's like a really talented artist who has a really good idea makes a movie, and then everyone's like, oh, that's a good movie, you should make this movie next, and it's just something that they're less passionate about, but they can get a bigger payday, and so they work on that, and then it tanks their career?
I doubt that Chappie was the bigger payday, man. I'm sorry.
I do think that Chappie was probably a movie he just really wanted to make. I will say that the idea for District 9, I believe, like, it started out as a short. So I think that, like, it's very clear it was something that Neil had a ton of passion about the idea of creating.
Yeah.
So there may be some truth in that. That like, you know, you get your one you've wanted to make for a long time, and then it's like, well, what do I do from here? You know?
Yeah.
It's very funny that these movies ended up in this matchup together. I'm jumping right into it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Go for it.
Because I feel like one is about big alien ship shows up over city, blows up city. And the other is about big alien ship shows up over city. City puts people in concentration camp. Yeah, and that's a fun comparison.
I actually think that this matchup is wildly inspired because, yeah, exactly. The visual, I don't know what word I want to use. The visual continuity between the two films and their massive spaceships makes me truly believe that in some ways, District 9 is like, it is a response to those types of alien movies in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very clear visual similarity, and you know, they choose to do very different things with their respected alien species. And there's the line at the very end of District 9 during one of like the exit interviews where it's like
our Independence Day.
Yeah, where Christopher's son says this is our Independence Day as they fly away,
and then Free Willy pops on screen.
Where one of the exit interviews, and the guy says that, like, you know, like, oh, some of the conspiracy theories, they believe that the aliens are just going to, like, come back and kill all of us. And it's like, yeah, and I wouldn't blame them if they did. So, like, maybe Independence Day, aliens got really mad that the people on Earth stole their little guys during the Roswell crash.
I just watched this short on that was featured on Creepshow. They made a TV series out of Creepshow. And I've been watching it finally because it's been on my radar. And one of them had, it was about aliens, and it was about these two guys. And one invented this like gravity thing. It was like, oh, great. And the other was just like the son of the first guy on Mars. And the first guy on Mars, like they say, hey, this was actually a secret mission. The other guy who invented the gravity thing, you get to talk to the aliens. They handpicked you. And the other guy gets jealous and kills him and goes talk to the aliens like themselves. And spoiler, warning, if you want to see this episode of Creepshow, they go to the aliens. The aliens are like, hey, what are you doing here? Where's our ambassador at? And it turns out the guy who invented the gravity thing was one of these aliens that was an ambassador that was going to say, hey, are humans cool? Are they good? Are they not warlike anymore? And they're like, oh, wait, you killed him. JK, you're going to fucking die now. And then they kill the whole human race. Wow, that's what made me think of. I don't know. I love aliens and the allegory of like humanity and like especially. I don't know. I feel like America. It's so funny the whole meme of like anytime aliens visit Earth, it's always like in like Kansas. It's always like America of all places, and that's why District 9 is very refreshing because it's South Africa, very cool. You get otherworldly things, but there's still a very Americanized air in it because America just loves putting themselves in the middle of it.
Sure, we're present for it all.
It's just interesting to me, especially because we have like a very like Independence Day, like you were saying, is a very Americanized. Like this is aliens and they're gonna come here and we have to save them all. No, it's because we're a globe. Like it's it's American propaganda. But
yeah, I mean, especially insofar as like. These aliens arrive to all of the other major cities, but we get like 4 seconds of screen time for any of the other ones. And Americans are the one that solve the problem. Yeah. And Americans are the one that coordinate the global effort to destroy the aliens. So
once I want like not even a movie, I want aliens to visit us, and America literally just like does nothing. Like literally like
nah,
no
bygones be bygones. Let them do their thing.
Right. Guys, do whatever. We're gonna have fucking Australia figure this one out.
If the president from Independence Day was the American president in District 9, they would have sent fighter jets over to shoot down the space.
I'm surprised they didn't, honestly, in District 9, just in general. I'm surprised they were just like boom, boom, pow, pow, them chickens jocking my style.
Cracked it open and found that there were just a bunch of dirty little guys in there. They're like, oh God, we got to do something with them.
Aren't we all just a bunch of dirty little guys?
Like they were in there just like starving to death,
Yeah.
If America cared about people starving to death, man, What a
Whoa.
different world we
True.
would live in.
No, true. No, speak your truth. Spit that shit.
Billionaires shouldn't exist.
I give a lot of credit to District 9 because it felt so fresh when I watched it. It felt so fresh in like the talking about aliens. Like it wasn't again just like Americanized, even though it seems like it still borrows from a bunch of obviously values and stuff. But there's something about the way that District 9 tells a story, like their allegory of humanity, I just felt was refreshing. And so I always give it like this like air of like above a lot of other like, oh, they're here and we gotta attack the aliens, like go kill them.
Something that I think is a really interesting comparison is talking about our protagonists in both films. We have essentially in Independence Day dude protagonists in Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, but then also sort of the American president and the crazy guy. It's a pretty large cast, which there are some things I think that Independence Day that does is pretty cool with its very large cast. For example, putting a bunch of effort into introducing a whole cast of characters and then killing like a third of them, I think is super fun. But comparing like Jeff Goldblum, Will Smith, the American president, President Whitmore, to Wickes, who is ostensibly until like the last 20 minutes of the movie an unabashed piece of shit. Like,
yeah,
we have what are conventional heroes through and through from beginning to end, like looking to save people as their chief identity, to Wickes, who is like self-interested, really very, very xenophobic, and like really doesn't take a turn to do something that isn't like for himself until, the last 15 to 20 minutes. And I think that's a really interesting choice, and then really interesting how that pairs up against like conventional American
like all
hero
American
archetypes.
hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the American president, like steps up to the plate to be a hero. And then on the other side, we've got dirty, grimy little guy who's like robbing people and trying to cut his hand off. Like,
I mean, but at the end of the day, aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
That's what's so
humanizing. Aren't we all the
you know?
president of the United States? Is what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard because like I will give Independence Day its credit just for being like a solid like blockbuster of just a summer action
knows what
movie.
It wants to be.
It knows what it wants to be. But there's like a nuance of like District 9 that just seems very, I don't know. It seems like it's taking it a step up, but Independence Day is still a blueprint. So it's like, what do we value more in our alien story? Kind of more the blueprint of what, or something that was trying to complicate it a little bit more. And when we talked about, what was it? Arrival was against Predator.
Predator.
That's kind of like also like, Predator, again, we talked about it, a much smarter movie than a lot of people give it credit for. There was a lot of good things going on. But if you looked at it face value, alien comes, fucks humanity up. Arrival was doing much more about like, those aliens weren't here to like attack and do all that stuff. So it's just interesting. And that's why I love the alien bracket too, because like we're going to have a bunch of different aliens who are, their purpose is for a bunch of different things. So for me, it's figuring out which one used what they were trying to do better, like the aliens themselves, like them as an allegory or them as an entity or thing. Like, what was more effective to me when I think of aliens, and what brought more to the table to me? Yeah.
Am I imagining this? Did they make an Independence Day 2? Didn't they?
Yeah, Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, they did.
Was it? Did anyone see it?
I never saw it.
I can't remember if I have.
I think that like the 30,000 foot synopsis is like the aliens come back and they're psychically attached to the president.
Cool.
Yeah, he's like he has PTSD and he's been like plagued with visions.
Cool.
Which is so funny when you have this movie that is like pre 9/11 America. And then you get, I don't know, we did we went to the Middle East, we did the Iraq War, we did Afghanistan, all this stuff, and we're like, hey, wait a minute, PTSD is real, dude.
Yeah, let's make a film about it. That was less successful too. So obviously, the American population doesn't actually give a shit about PTSD.
Yeah. there are like people that watch Independence Day for July 4th. Like,
Yeah.
like this is like a, you know, we joked about it a little bit up top. Like Alex is like, America, and you know, like super jingoism. But this is like, in a lot of ways, a quintessentially like American vibes kind
very
of movie.
Patriotic ass
You know?
movie. Yeah.
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 And I
100%.
do think like between its action and its pretty like relatively snappy like jokes it throws around, like it's a really fun movie to watch.
Mhm. I mean, again, you put like a younger Will Smith like in an action movie as the star, dude.
He's
it's
just
gonna be
eating
he's
up
fucking
that screen.
awesome, dude.
And
He's
really
fucking
is.
awesome.
We've barely talked about Jeff Goldblum too.
Very true.
He's
I
so
mean,
good,
it's Jeffy Gold.
Jeffy G.
Jeffy G. I would think that I would be ready to vote. So if you guys are comfortable, I can take charge on this one.
Go for it.
Just one more thing to throw out
Never
on
mind.
Independence Day. It just has such a golden line. The circling up, believe aliens are going to destroy the whole planet. Guy runs up to, I think, Jeff Goldblum's dad.
I know
It's
what
like,
you're gonna
I'm not
say.
Jewish. And then his Jewish dad is like, no one's perfect. Is inspired. That's
and
all.
that was ad-libbed. That was someone just walked up to him on set and wanted to know. You know?
Anyway, go for it, Jake. Go for it.
Yeah. Nostalgia makes me want to be like, ah man, that 50 inspirational speeches video, that's gotta vote for that, but I'm not
Gotta
kidding
vote
myself
Chappie,
here.
you know?
Yeah, I'm not kidding myself here. I'll vote for District 9, but it's on thin fucking ice because of its creator. if Chappie comes up one more time when we talk about it, I don't know if I could vote for it anymore. I don't know. We'll see.
Chappie.
Well, I already did. I already voted for it once, so it escaped this time.
Interesting.
The counter resets.
Yeah.
I can go next.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna vote for Independence Day. I think there is something to be said for this genre of movie of like, aliens come, we gotta stop them. And I feel like this is like one of the best versions of that story.
We gotta
like in just its
stop 'em.
purest form.
That's a good point.
Before were like, oh, we need to make it different, and it's like all the aliens are really good guys.
Yeah, fuck that.
Matt.
That's a good appeal to the guy who loves like just big beasts like battling each other. That's a good appeal to him.
Whoa!
You
Just
know?
because a guy likes kaiju movies doesn't mean he likes senseless violence.
I don't think that's why you like senseless violence, but we don't have to go down that rabbit hole.
We'll put a pin in that. This is really tough.
Cut. Podcast.
Podcast.
I think we do that weekly.
That's why we
I
named
think-
it's aptly named.
Thank you. We're really smart. We thought really hard about what to name this show. I think I am going to vote for
Chappie.
Stop. I can't vote for Chappie like legally. It's not in the bracket. I'm going to vote for District 9 here. As much as I think you make a really, really good point, Alex, on
That's
like
a good point.
the genre film aspect of like the aliens are just the bad guys and we got to stop them. It's so fun. But I think I'd be remiss to be like, I don't know, all that District 9 has to say and my own feelings towards the movie. So with that,
Yeah.
District 9 advances.
Hell yeah.
And we've got another matchup here.
We do?
Yeah, you sound surprised. Jake, do you want to go ahead and introduce The Thing?
I would love to, man. I pitched The Thing, John Carpenter's 1982
Wait,
horror
what?
sci-fi. What? Yeah, it's John Carpenter. What did you watch?
Matt, did you watch
You watched
the
the wrong one.
remake?
You watched the remake?
No, I'm just kidding.
God, that
you
would
got me,
actually
yeah.
be crazy
You
if
got
you'd
me.
watched the remake, Matt.
You got me. You know, the remake
Anyway,
is like fine.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Anyway,
it's
John
fine.
Carpenter's The Thing.
John
1982.
Carpenter's 1982. It's, you're in Antarctica with a group of American research scientists, and they get disturbed after their base finds a dog that a helicopter was like shooting at, and they take in the dog, and
Get that dog
fucking
out of here.
tomfoolery ensues where the dog is actually an extraterrestrial being who can take the shape of different things and human beings and wants to just take over everybody. And so it turns into a murder mystery kind of almost like a whodunit thing where you have to guess which one of your friends is an imposter. Woo! This is what started Among Us, guys. I'm sorry. Or not, honestly. It gave entertainment to the likes of us. Yeah, this is basically Among Us for the boomers watching, or no, the Zoomers watching.
Yeah, all the boomers playing Among Us.
All the boomers.
They're in the same lobbies.
Hey,
with
I
Benoit
saw Glass
Blanc and
Onion.
Glass
Yeah,
Onion.
yeah!
Yeah.
Yes! Dude, same wavelength. This is actually one of my like top favorite movies of all time, especially in the genre. I think top to bottom, it's just like such a well-made film. The effects, the pacing, the cast, the ability for conversation afterwards, the longevity of it, like how people still talk about it to this day. It's still talk about, you know, the application around the gold standard about like making creatures and practical effects versus, you know, special effects. Like this is for me like an insanely beautiful genre film that was such a labor of love, such a good alien movie, and I think it's so creative, and I love it. I'm a big fan of it. I would like to know how Matthew thinks of this movie.
I think this movie is basically a masterpiece. Much like many of our other titans of the genre in this bracket, Alien, Predator, we talked about, there's a reason The Thing is such a cultural mainstay. To Jake's point, like the creatures, the little prosthetics that they make for them, like they are so fun. They look so good most of the time. Most of the time. The social deduction elements of this movie ring really true. Like it's just a really enjoyable watch. And I think it is one of those movies that you like walk out of if you watch it with people being like, you know, debating what happened or, you know, debating the film or what would you do, you know, like you willing to just like let yourselves all die to stop an alien from eradicating the planet? I don't know, man. Should they just have the wish that Norwegian guy just had better aim?
Yeah, I think honestly that's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
The best case scenario is that everyone gets really bummed out that this dog died and they can't go on with their lives, you know?
Yeah. So with that, Alex, what'd you think of this one?
I love this movie. Jake, did we watch this in the animation class or did we watch this in a different class?
We watched this in, I think it was Spectacular Cinema.
Yeah, it was an animation because I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was Spectacular Cinema.
So that was the first time that I saw this movie.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
Watching it with you in class. But this movie's so good. It's so good.
It's rad.
Yeah, this movie, I guess, obviously we're not talking about it in contrast to Alien right now. But in contrast to Alien, where I talked about it last week, how I like knew what happened in Alien without having seen it. I didn't know what happened in this movie. Like I understood the concept, but I had no idea like where it was going or what it would be. So I think this movie's great. Yeah. Love Kurt Russell with a beard.
It looks so good.
Love Kurt Russell. Keith David, come on, man.
It's so good. It, however, is going up against a movie, not a novel. Wink.
Nice. Good job.
Starship Troopers, directed by Paul Verhoeven, released in 1997. Okay. Cards on the table.
Yeah, baby.
I love this movie so much. I debated just like trying to go into this and like, I don't know, accurately summarize it and see how you guys felt and then drop the shell, but like I can't contain myself. This movie is adapted from Robert A. Heinlein's, one of the granddaddies of science fiction's, novel of the same name. Follows Johnny Rico as he joins the mobile infantry in a future Earth that is ruled by military veterans as they're dragged into an interstellar war with an arachnoid enemy. With all that said, I think this movie is maybe the most brilliant adaptation of all time.
Oh wow, that's fun.
Paul Verhoeven, of RoboCop fame, of Starship Troopers fame, of a lot of things, is sometimes a one-tracked man. And he snuck $120 million or something like that anti-fascist playbook past the major movie studios, and that's fucking incredible. Heinlein's novel is very, very, very straightforwardly pretty pro-fascist. The novel essentially was written in response to America denuclearizing and was like, hey, America, you're looking a little weak. You should probably do something about it. It's a whole thing. The world falls apart because we stop spanking our kids. It's wild.
Wow.
And
cool.
Paul Verhoeven sees that, tries to read the book, is like, this is fucking horrible. This reminds me of Nazis. This reminds me of fascism. I hate it. Refused to finish it. Had one of the producers feed him the plot information, and they create what is this like campy, semi-satirical, just labor of love to basically say, hey, America, if you want to try and actually do that, here's how fucking goofy you'll look. Here's how dumb you'll look. And, well, here we are today. Some folks didn't listen. I truly think this movie is incredible. I think it has so much to say. I think it just shares this incredible relationship to its source work. However, I know that most people have not read Robert A. Heinlein's novel and aren't getting all of that. And they're just getting,
they're just getting the
seemingly
movie.
all-American Johnny Rico, who lives in Brazil, playing football and killing aliens. I have so much to say about this movie, but I will try to contain myself.
Yeah.
Jake, what do you think of this one? And again, you will not offend me. Having no context is okay.
Matthew, here's the thing. You forget that we've been like best friends for like a long time. This is such a Matthew coded movie. What do you mean? Like this? You idiot. What do you mean? They're like, oh, I didn't want to tip my hand that I love this movie so much. Are you kidding me? You kidding me, my guy?
Matt pitches a movie full of propaganda.
Propaganda, big alien
satirical propaganda.
What's that game you made us play all together? The EDF deploys, Come on, you know this game.
which is heavily inspired by Starship
Troopers.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a Matthew movie. And look, I can't say that when I first saw this movie when I was younger, because I have seen it before. Satire over my head. This seemed like just like another movie about ooga booga, like.
Yeah,
guys
kill the bugs.
Being dudes, kill the bugs.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all.
Sometimes it's a little too spider coated. Didn't like that.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Fair. It's okay. But you know my vibe. I think the movie is better when you know context behind it. I think as it exists, I don't think they did as perfect as a job as they could have. Look, I love Paul. Oh God, I butcher his last name. Verhoeven.
Something like that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Total Recall is one of my favorite goofy sci-fi movies, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger ones of all time. So good. So good. This one is like, it is okay to me, but knowing your love for it always makes it better to me. But it's when I watch it, it's not like the first thing that I'll think of if I talk about it. And that's kind of what I'm gripping with, but I was looking forward to this conversation because I knew you would come in hot with the details. I got a bunch of fun facts about the thing as well. It's going to be a good time. But I'd love to hear what Alex thinks.
Yeah.
So I haven't read the book.
That's crazy.
Not only that, before you pitched this movie, I had never heard of this movie. I literally had zero idea what this movie was.
Yeah.
And so watching it, I was quite confused because I was like, what's with this like very blatant satirical propaganda, but then also major patriotism in the characters, and it didn't feel like the characters didn't feel like satire necessarily.
Mhm.
It like because you like it like wants you to root for the characters still. So I was confused. But your explanation I think makes a lot of sense. I did have a good time with it. Like I think the characters were fun. This movie does fall into a trap for me that definitely limited my enjoyment, which is that I associate war movies and like movies about like military in this style with movies my dad used to watch on Sunday mornings when I wanted to watch different TV. And so unfortunately, like it
What a
is
specific
tainted.
feeling. Love
It
that.
is tainted by that.
Hmm.
But I like had a good time. I watched this instead of doing work.
Nice. I love
Awesome.
that.
We'll take that.
Paul Verhoeven would love that too.
That's awesome. Love
But
that.
I thought like the like explicit satirical propaganda I thought was very funny.
I think I
good.
think given but I think both these movies have a very like good cult following. I think Starship is probably like maybe a little smaller, but I think like with the right time, I think that genuinely like both these movies I feel like can exist further and further as the years go on, and rewatching them through different like timelines and stuff is a very fun thing to do. And so I give Starship Troopers credit for that. I also love a movie, especially a sci-fi movie with a cult following, because like it's pretty much like all of them early on, unless they like pierce the veil of like being a blockbuster success or whatever, because it's not as great. Like The Thing made a bunch of movie, but that's because it cost like not a lot to make, because it was like a horror sci-fi, one location or dude. You guys know that the primary special effects guy was 23 years old when he worked on this.
Wow.
He was 23 years old. He was this kid who just like fucking like was wired, but he like worked 7 days a week, like fucking ungodly hours for 56 weeks straight. Ooh. And after the film like was done, they had to forcefully check him into a hospital for exhaustion.
Wow.
And
maybe we shouldn't have let it get that far.
No, but it apparently, because there's a bunch of documentaries and all this stuff about it, like he just like it was him. Like he just was like wired. He just wanted to do it so bad. He just wanted it.
It paid off. Look at it. It's like a beautifully.
It's great. And I think it's also like so charming too. Like even the stuff that like maybe didn't age as well or like doesn't look as good, I still think looks like the labor of love that it is. You know what I mean? And for that, I give so much credit. Are you looking at?
Yeah. So he's actually a little younger. He was 21. During filming, then 21-year-old Botten was hospitalized for exhaustion, double pneumonia, and a bleeding ulcer caused by his excessive workload.
Yeah.
Botten himself explained he would hoard the work, opting to be directly involved in many of the complicated tasks.
Yeah. And this was him, but just because like he loved it, like he was like wired for it. And I'm not like celebrating the tortured artist, like whatever, fuck that. Don't overwork yourself. This is why we're on strike. Unions are a thing. Don't do that. But it's just like phenomenal, the love that you see put in and the care of this, just like this young, fresh team making a science fiction thing that was also very fun and like nuanced to do. Like it's very, very cool to talk about. Like you were saying, there's social, like,
social deduction aspects
of it all. It's very, very cool. So
seduction.
Yeah. I just love like imagining that people have a team of people that like really care about like a project and stuff. And like it's like how Matthew talks about Starship Troopers and how like Paul was reading that book and like what the fuck, I gotta sneak this in. I love that energy from a movie. I think I just wish that it felt like other aspects of the production also had that passion.
I think that they do. I think like there's obviously like complicated differences depending like the type of film you're trying to make. Starship Troopers manages to be fairly grand scale, whereas The Thing is a little bit more intimate, which means you can like refocus a lot of your efforts onto like much more specific things. Sort of with all that said, though, like I think they're both of these movies, like I have a very clear love for Starship Troopers. I'm not saying it's like a perfect film, but I think it is like such a fantastic thing to exist. I'm just so happy that it does. And I feel the same way about The Thing. Like I'm so happy that it was made. Wasn't there's I'm sure some like specific history timing, like it came out pretty close to just after like the stagflation of the 1970s, so like there's some like economic factors, I'm sure, that play a role in lots of other
No,
things.
it's another great, like, again, sci-fi representing, you know, what's going on, like, in the world and such. Like, that's what any good sci-fi, what any good alien story does.
They
Yeah.
say something about the world we live in, and that's
Mhm.
what, you know, like Heinlein tried to do with Starship Troopers. That's what Paul Verhoeven tries to do with Starship Troopers the movie. That's, you know, what we're doing with the thing. Like, there's so much great stuff going on sort of collectively here. Taking a step back to, I think, talk functionally, I don't know, plot wise, etc.
Mhm.
Similar to Alien, which plays some inspiration to the thing, I really, really like the like slow rolling build the film sort of has through its first act as they're like establishing these bits and pieces and like adventuring over to the Norwegian base and finding everyone dead. Like,
Mhm.
there is this waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of moment or energy that the film carries of like, you as an audience member know something is going to go wrong. You know, something isn't quite right. And we're, you know, putting the pieces together on what that is, I think is really, really fun. And you also get some like little moments to endear yourselves to the characters. Again, very Alien,
Mhm.
which is all just like very smart, you know, filmmaking, writing, production, etc. And then like for Starship Troopers, there is this piece where some of the elements of Verhoeven's commentary, I think, get increasingly more obvious to the point that 30 minutes before the end, they have Carl walk out in like a literal Nazi uniform.
Yeah.
As like a, hey man, if you didn't pick up on it yet, like,
God, give this film in the wrong hands. Oh God.
okay, which is a really big thing.
Yeah.
I'll say one little piece,
Yeah.
tiny
Say
little
it.
thing.
Say it.
There are a lot of people that genuinely believe the worldview that Heinlein is espousing is good, and they think that Verhoeven's movie supports that. Dumb, bad, idiot.
Bad.
This idea. One last little thing.
Yeah.
This idea of service guarantees citizenship, whatever, and then you coming to the defense of it, being like, "Well, service can mean anything." Shut your fucking mouth. You haven't. I don't believe they've read the book.
Say it.
There are 3 separate classroom scenes in the novel. You only have one in this one where they like espouse political beliefs of whoever,
Sure.
either satirically or literally. It's straight up fascist. Like, that's the whole point. It's fascism. Like, there's no dancing around it. You can't pretend to defend yourself. Don't actually believe that a veteran government should rule the world. We stop spanking our children. You're dumb as shit. They didn't add that you could get citizenship through other service until the expanded universe novels. You don't know your stuff. I've been reading sci-fi since I was fucking 8 years old. Like, step off, man. Sorry. That's
It's so funny. It reminds me of like A Modest Proposal, and it's just like the people who like freaked the fuck out.
Take it literally.
You can take it literally. It's like, no, we don't. We're not going to eat these children, you idiot.
That's what it is. There are
but
people that
believe it.
there are people that the satire of Starship Troopers totally misses them. Even with the like super overt propaganda films. Even like there's so many good moments in like the little propaganda pieces, you know, the I'm doing my part, the like giving kids bullets, letting them hold the guns. Even like the little tiny moments of like you have the Sky Marshal who is a white man who then resigns and is replaced with a black woman. Like Verhoeven does a lot that I think is really, really clever to show like, hey man, they're playing you. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it so much.
Yeah.
They're both so good, such great movies. I mean, I think The Thing is basically a masterpiece. Like,
That's hard.
I don't know.
It's hard. I love the little like I just like dream of these little creatures, man. The little like fucking puppets with their little legs. The fucking scene where they're like clearing and then the stomach opens up to the teeth and the arms.
Oh my god!
They hired
so
a double
good.
amputee. Like they hired a double amputee to play that part.
Incredible.
So they could like get
Wow.
it like gave them fake arms and cut them like for real in like a machine that actually would cut arms off. And then like have the double amputee do it in that scene. Like it's fucking cool.
That's
so cool. It just like oozes cool. Yeah, that's just
I will say the thing about the thing, the blood testing scene,
Yeah.
I think is like near one of my favorite campy 70s and 80s alien movie scenes ever. The way they slowly ratchet that tension, and then you have to spend a full 60 seconds like claustrophobically getting shots of the two guys attached to the guy who's currently fucking
Like
mutating
wigging
out on the
Yeah.
couch. Like, let me live in that, you know?
Yeah.
Having the guts to be like, oh, I am proud enough of our wild little prosthetics that you're just going to spend 60 full seconds with people screaming,
Yeah.
watching this thing do its job.
The little
That's just
blood,
so
little
fun.
sizzles, and it's it's great. I
Ugh.
mean, it's great tense filmmaking. It's also like I think you hit a good point where it's like they really trusted their team, and they really trusted like, no, we think these prosthetics and we think these performances are really good. Like, so we're gonna fucking show you them up close. Like, you can tell with a lot of like productions that happen whenever like they do not like what they made, you'll see like the corner of it or like a very brief flash. And you ever like have that feeling when you're watching a horror sci-fi movie or anything when movie monster like, oh come on, I want to see more of it. Let me see more of it. If you saw more of it, you probably wouldn't like it. But this, like you're seeing all of that. They're going balls to the
Most
wall.
of it's like so well lit. Like the like secrets of like cast it in shadow, show it in the dark. Like the thing has having none of that. They're like, we want you to focus on it. We're gonna throw it center frame. We're gonna cast it in light. We want you to see these.
Well, I think what's so genius about it is that it like really plays with you, because it's like, no, you need to know exactly what this monster is, because the scary part is that you don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could be anywhere, and you know how scary it is. And I think that's like genius. That's so good.
Can I tell you guys a story that you're going to be so jealous of?
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
A friend of mine worked with Keith David. Already jealous, you know. Keith David's fucking awesome. And at the end of the shoot, he went up to Keith David. He's like, I'm just going to fucking do it. I'm going to fucking ask him. And he asked Keith David what happened at the end of the thing. And Keith David stops and he smiles and he leans over and he whispered the answer to the guy. And he just won't tell me. He won't tell me what it is. But apparently Keith David answered what he thought happened at the end of the thing. And I think about that every day in my damn life. I'm like, no, I want to know.
I was gonna say, if you were about to reveal it, we would have to cut it from the podcast.
Oh no! I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to know, but I want to know so bad. That's why it's such a perfect ending. Like, I love that I don't know, but I want to know so bad. Like, I want Keith David to whisper in my ear, you know?
Oh, this movie is just so good.
I don't think there is any amount of, like, I could legitimately probably go on for like 45 minutes about all the things I think are like so smart, so clever. Like, just the fact that that Starship Troopers exists, that Paul Verhoeven was like, I'm gonna make my guide to anti-fascism. Movie studios are gonna spend $100 million on it. Yeah, and it's just gonna like exist out there in the world forever. I love that so much.
It's badass.
I aspire to do that. I aspire to
give me a bunch of money to make a film, then it'll happen. Done.
Like multiple times. Like the guy who made RoboCop, you guys thought he wasn't going to like spit on the fascists? Like, I don't understand, dude.
Nice.
White meat. Hungry boy.
Exactly. I want the Starship Troopers version of the KFC ads.
That's hilarious. What a good sentence.
We don't have it yet, but maybe someday. Jake.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you ready? Can you start us off again? You were so good at it last time.
I can start us off
I'm
for
so
sure.
Proud.
I love Matthew very dearly, but I have to vote for The Thing. But I will say that, and you'll like this, hearing you say all these things about the book and like, oh, so much in sci-fi and stuff, you know what it made me want to do? It made me want to like maybe go and read Dune so I could give a shit about the movie. Because like, man, oh man, did I not really care for the first Dune? But I was like, okay, maybe I'll get it more because I love sci-fi. I love the genre, and I got, at least to my like knowledge, Starship Troopers, what it was trying to do. But I feel like I would like. I want to be on the Dune train. I know we're not talking about Dune, but I want to be on the train because it's Denis Villeneuve. It's like such a like it's a sci-fi world. Maybe I'll read the fucking book.
If this podcast, you know, regardless of what moves on, gets you to crack open Dune so I can start pouring multiple books worth of knowledge into your ears, but drip fed.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a huge dub.
Right.
Matt, you said that you could talk about Starship Troopers for an endless amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Then do it, because I'm voting for Starship Troopers.
Damn. You put
me in a hard fucking spot, dude.
Yeah, I just want to see what you do. Because, I mean, I love The Thing, but I could really go either way here. I had a good time with Starship Troopers, and I think it is a really smart movie, and I think it is similar to Independence Day. There is something about a movie where it's just like, we're fighting bugs.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all.
Yeah.
Hey, we're fighting
I find the
aliens
idea of a bug that can think offensive. Oh, this is so miserable because I feel like I took up so much airtime ranting about Starship Troopers already. And like, I'm prepared to keep doing it. But also, like, I want to give The Thing its piece because it is truly, genuinely, like, a masterpiece.
You're a masterpiece.
That is true. Big true.
Master Chief, on the other hand, wouldn't exist without Starship Troopers because the novel popularized the idea of power.
That one hurt me. I can't say that one didn't hurt me.
Wow.
I'm full of them.
It's kind of rad, though. I can't lie.
It's we can't get into it now. Alex, you've put me in perhaps the most dastardly a position a man can be put in.
I just love to see you squirm making a deep and hefty decision.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Alien bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Alien.
Yeah, be
bracket.
philosophically consistent.
I'm trying to. The bugs that stand in for communism.
I mean, The Thing also stands in for communism. If we're going there,
The Thing.
That's really funny. We did talk about that. That's like insane.
Yeah, no, it's wild how overt it is.
That's crazy.
I can't. I could keep saying things, but The Thing that built this in its garage with a box of scraps. That's my attempt at an Iron Man reference because the creature, the alien.
That was the best Jeff Bridges impression I've ever seen in my life.
The alien built a spaceship in a cave with scraps. How'd it do that?
So funny. That is so
Why'd
funny.
it do that? Stop him, someone. I feel like I've been taken to I've been made to a Christian man, and I'm being crucified right now.
Why did you have to be a Christian man to be crucified?
Well, I'm gonna put that foreskin back on.
I fought so hard to get it off the first time.
You're cracking me up. You're cracking me up.
I'm feeling silly. I'm feeling silly. We should start the episode here.
I like it ending. Whoever made it this far, whoo.
You get rewards.
like talking about Matt's foreskin.
Okay.
Lucky you, audience member.
I found the name of our episode.
We're gonna get our podcast banned in like 6 countries if we name an episode.
No, we'll put it to number 4, so it's like a 4 loco.
Okay. We need to vote. We need to finish. We need to wrap up here. We're over
yes,
time.
We need to vote.
Visual gag.
Matt, please.
I'm sorry. I'm buying time because I'm
This is
genuinely
how you know
torn.
You care, though. I love it.
Okay.
Now recording.
Jump scare.
I feel like I am going to vote for should have had me write it down as soon as the matchup started. That way it was like locked in.
Well,
So
if
As
the
soon
matchup
as the matchup started?
Sorry.
The whole point
No,
is that we
you
have a
You go in with
conversation.
bias? What the hell, man?
No, not what I meant. God, I am sorry, I'm a mess. Okay. I'm going to vote
hot mess for a
for
reason. Sorry.
Jake, he was so close.
I'm going to vote for Starship Troopers.
No, I'm kidding.
I again, I wish we could keep talking about The Thing and Starship Troopers at the same time, but we can't. They told me I'm not allowed. I proposed it already. I think for me, there is just, again, this could have been a finals matchup. I think that these are two like truly masterful movies. I think what edges it out.
Okay.
Nice. We got to dig into those bugs. We got to find out what they're all about. Why is there a bug that can think? You know, we got to crack the code.
Hey, and
But
now
I
we
guess
get
the
to,
alien from Thing also could think. So really,
but now we get
Yeah.
to do bugs versus prawns.
oh no,
Mm.
gross little guys. Or we just keep talking about The Thing versus Starship. Anyway.
We can. That'll be a bonus episode, guys. We're just gonna we'll just do that.
So with that, Starship Troopers advances. We've got a finale matchup up top that is Alien versus Predator, and then we've got Starship Troopers versus District 9 in the back half.
That's true.
The Alien.
I love
Can't be
aliens,
stopped.
dude. I love aliens.
I'm an alien now.
This guy's off his fucking rocker, man.
Oh yeah, I have to stop. Oh wait, no, we have to say the things. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow us on social media at Tough Cut Pod. Like and review the show on all your favorite podcasting platforms. We're on every single one of them. If you liked what you heard, share it with someone who hates fascism as much as I do.
Whisper it into
Oh,
someone's
wow.
ear and don't tell us what they said.
We'll never know. We didn't even
We'll
talk
never
about
know.
what we thought happened at the end of the thing.
Yeah, we never will. I
And
was
now we
saving
will
it.
now
I
we
was
never
saving
will.
it. I was saving it.
Oh God, I should. Okay, well.